Good morning and welcome. This is the day which we have been given. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning. I'm Ollie Stocker, Worship Associate. My pronouns are he, him. I am joined in the chancel this morning by our Minister of Congregational Care, Reverend Shay, MacKay, and our Worship Associate, Ann Haley. If this is your first time at Unity Unitarian, you are welcome here. If you have been here for decades, you are welcome here. If you are joining us online, we are so glad you are with us. If you have come here to be spiritually nourished, you are welcome here. Whoever you are, whatever brings you to this place, wherever you are heading, know that in this place, your gifts and your wounds are welcome. We hope you find Unity Church to be a place that helps you find and keep your balance, and a community that inspires you to lead a loving life of integrity, service, and joy. I want to extend a special welcome to those of you who are visiting us today. If you are new to Unity, please fill out one of the visitor cards that are available in the pews and drop it in the offering basket as it passes you by later in the service. After the service, Finding Yourself at Unity will meet in the center room, today with KP. The topic is Faith Formation and Religious Education. As we enter this time of worship together, we take a moment to center ourselves with the pealing of the bell.
Good morning, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Ahmed Anzaldúa. I am Director of Music Ministries here at Unity Church. The choirs don't sing regularly during the summer, but this morning we have a drop-in choir. Folks just came in this morning at 8:45 a.m. and learned the two songs that we're going to do today, one for the Prelude and one for the offering. They literally learned them an hour ago. In both songs, I'm going to ask you to join, so I would like you to not tune out. I'd like you to pay attention so that at some point you can sing with us. This first song is called Open My Heart. It was created by Ana Hernandez. She's a minister in Santa Cruz. She has a very international congregation that includes, I think, about 40 languages. So that's part of the song. And pickup choir, you can start coming on up, and this is our prelude. So the song is called Open My Heart. You just heard the melody, yes? All right, how about you stand up with me and sing it with us? So it goes like this. Open my heart, open my heart, open my heart, open my heart. So the choir is singing harmony along with the melody, yes? Which you are welcome to try and pick up. Let's try it once, and you're welcome to make up your harmony or try to pick up what the choir is doing. Ready? Here we go. So as I mentioned, Anna's congregation is remarkably polylingual. And this is something that they would sing to open their worship prayer services over and over again. So you're just not saying the words. You're trying to open yourself up to worship. And at some point, Anna asks that you sing it in a language other than English. A language that maybe you grew up with, or a made-up language, or sign language, or whatever language is not English at the same time, yes? I grew up speaking Spanish, Abre mi corazón, and Arabic, Iftah qalbi. Pick one, Ouvre mon cœur, I don't know. Here we go, ready? And...
As the world shifts beneath us, we seek steadiness, the unwavering support of community, the principled guidance of wise teachings, the faithful turning of the seasons. We seek within ourselves and in one another a devotion to all that is true, all that is just, all that is beautiful. We gather here to reground ourselves and to reorient toward our heart's calling. Here we hold on to what is good, what we believe, and what we must do. With resolute and compassionate hearts, to live lives of integrity, service, and joy. Let us worship together. Will you say with me the words printed in your order of service as we light the chalice? We light this chalice as a symbol of our faith, the light of truth, and the warmth of love. And then stand as you are able to join in singing number 298, Wake Now My Senses. One of my favorite comic strips, I still get the paper, is Rhymes with Orange by Hilary Price. A recent strip showed a man looking at a map outside of the philosophy department at a college. You know the kind, the one that show you are here. This one said, "Why are you here?" This can take on different meanings depending on how you read it, where the emphasis is placed. Why are you here, or why are you here? Each of us has our own journey, our own reason for being here. I'm here for integrity, service, and joy, and for the music. What brought you here? If you've been here for a bit, why do you come back? Why are you here? I am not a lifelong Unitarian Universalist. I am an immigrant from another faith tradition. I use immigrant rather than refugee because I didn't come here to escape a bad life. I spent most of my life as a faithful Episcopalian. I was baptized, confirmed, and married in the Episcopal Church, congregations here in St. Paul. I was in the choir starting in 2nd grade and on the altar guild. I've been an acolyte, Sunday school teacher, a member of the vestry. You name it, I probably did it. Except for being a member of the clergy. My sister chose that path. In all those years, almost 60 of them, I was slowly losing my comfort with saying the creeds that are part of every Episcopal Church service. I didn't believe them anymore. I had a good support system and lovely friends. There are still things I love about the Episcopal Church. I love the music. I attended a service at Canterbury Cathedral, and knowing that a group still gathers at 10 every Wednesday morning in that sacred place is awe-inspiring. And still, my late husband John came here first in 2012. He had become uncomfortable with the Episcopal Church and voiced it well before I did. He had quit going to church altogether when a friend suggested he try Unity. He loved it here. I didn't come to a service until spring of 2013. John had had a history of leaving churches and I didn't want to leave mine and find that, again, he wanted to leave. Couples aren't always on the same page, you know. I don't remember what Rob Eller Isaacs talked about in that sermon that day. I do remember feeling like I had come home. Here was a church, a faith tradition that was centered in reality, around integrity, service, and joy. The readings in the back of the hymnal are from so many sources. Yes, some from the Christian Bible, but from other faith traditions from around the world. There are many Unitarian Universalist writers there. The music also comes from many different traditions. The world was represented here, not just a portion of it. I don't have to profess a belief in God, or walking on water, or raising people from the dead. I do covenant with this congregation and other UU congregations to affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person. I covenant the values of interdependence, pluralism, justice, transformation, generosity, and equity, all centered around love. Other faith traditions are focused on love too. We don't have a corner on that market. I think the difference here is that we center on love, not on a belief or creed. We include everyone, whatever your faith tradition, wherever you came from, wherever you are going. Why are you here? Where are you on your faith journey? If you are new here or visiting today, ask someone with a printed name tag how they got here and why they stay. You may be surprised. I'm so glad you are all here. Enjoy your journey.
Each time we gather for worship, we set aside a moment to expand the caring ministry of this congregation. We gather here together, trusting in the embrace of this community, knowing that it is wide enough and deep enough to hold us in both our joy and our sorrow, in our challenges and our celebrations. Together, we recognize the cycle of life and death, the circle of love, compassion, and witness that is at the center of this and every sacred community. In our community today, we hold the family of Rhoda Brooks in our thoughts and prayers. Rhoda was the mother of Unity members Ned Brooks and his wife Gudrun, and Rhoda died peacefully at home on Friday, surrounded by her beloved family. We also stand at the side of all those whose spiritual practice is caring for children, those who live with mental illness, grief, chronic pain, or addiction. We celebrate with all those who come through our doors with joy in their hearts, for this is a house of joy. We pray for our neighbors in prison, for those in harm's way, for all of us who are struggling to stay afloat and make ends meet. And as always, we support those who rise above heartbreak to carry on the work of ending oppression in all of its forms. And friends, we grieve together. We come here knowing that we can grieve the layers of loss, anger, and fear that are present in all of our lives and in our world. I invite you now to speak into the embrace of this community what you are holding in your hearts today. for all that we hold within, among, and beyond ourselves, let us take a moment of silence together. And will you pray with me? God of many names and mystery beyond all naming, let us remember that there are many paths to wholeness, many ways in which to live our truth. Help us be a refuge for those seeking answers and a challenge for those stuck in complacency. When we would call upon the God of our fathers, the saints of our mothers, the gods of our imaginations, when we would rage at the demons in our society, in our mind, help us also and always remember to look for all that is holy within ourselves, to find the light in all around us. And may we dispel that which has the power to harm with the ferocity of our love and our belief. Amen. May it be so. Please join in body and or spirit, voice still and small, number 391. Interdependence and generosity are core to our faith in this place. We know that we are bound up with each other and our partners in the world, and that generosity deepens our ties. Each week, as you know, the majority of our offering supports one of our partners in the community. And this week, that is Como Connects, an organization working to link older adults in the Como Park Falcon Heights area with community resources. Their services support independence, increase opportunities for socialization, and foster safety for adults as they age. Your financial contributions today will help provide strength-building programs aimed at promoting safety and reducing injuries. Will the ushers please come forward? Friends, we know that when we live lives of integrity, service, and joy, generosity is sure to follow. Please give as generously as you are able.
Drop-in choir, come on up. Hello again, everyone. So for the offering, we will be doing a song called "Infinitely Whole." It is a song by the songwriter's name is Bran Lennox, based in Boston. The song was created at Sanctuary Boston, a UU congregation. The context of the song, it was specifically created for a service that talked about narratives weaponized against trans and disabled folks about how they are broken or missing a part. So the text of the piece is, we were all born infinitely whole. We are each of us complete. We are each of us enough just the way we are. I'll be leading it. The choir will be singing it. It's likely that you will pick it up as you listen to it. I encourage you to sing with us if you hear it and you feel compelled to do so, rather than just sitting quietly and, I don't know, enjoying it or something. Sounds good? Okay, so...
On June 26, 1945, a Swiss newspaper published an article about a Catholic resistance to the Nazis in Cologne, Germany. It speaks of the underground bomb shelters used by the Catholic community and of disused underground passages in old buildings that the Catholic resistance used as refuges from the Gestapo. At one point, 9 Jewish fugitives hid in an underground passage for 4 months without ever being caught. The author of the article went on to say that they had visited this shelter, a fully equipped kitchen, bedroom, living room, with a radio, a small library, and oil lamps. Meals could only be cooked at night so the smoke would not be noticed by the Gestapo. Food was supplied by friends who willingly gave up a portion of their rations to help those unfortunate people living for weeks in utter darkness. The following inscription, translated here into English, was found on one of the walls of this shelter. I believe in the sun, even in the darkness. I believe in God, even if God is silent. I believe in compassion, even when it must remain hidden. We are uncertain when the additional part of the poem was added. The rest is this. I believe in the sun, even when it is not shining, and I believe in love, even when there's no one there. I believe in God, even when he is silent. I believe through any trial, there is always a way, but sometimes in this suffering and hopeless despair, my heart cries for shelter, to know someone's there. But a voice rises within me, saying, hold on, my child. I'll give you strength. I'll give you hope. Just stay a little while. I believe in the sun, even when it is not shining. I believe in love, even when there is no one there. I believe in God, even when he is silent. I believe through any trial, there is always a way. May there someday be sunshine. May there someday be happiness. May there someday be love. May there someday be peace.
First, I want to give a kudos to the pickup choir. I thought they were great this morning. Wasn't that fantastic? I think it was last week, I think there were 7 or 8 people, and today it was like a whole choir. That was incredible. Thank you. You believe what? I believe in the sun, even when it's not shining. And I believe in love, even when there's no one there. And I believe in God, even when he is silent. When I first read these lines, I felt inspired and uplifted. They flow with such optimism and hope. But they took a deeper meaning for me when I learned that they were written by one of 9 Jewish refugees hiding underground in a passage for 4 months to avoid being detected by the Gestapo. My question to you is, how would you think and feel living in those sparse conditions with the constant threat of discovery? How would that be for you? I tend to be claustrophobic, so in addition to fear of being detected by the Gestapo, I would have been probably in sheer panic most of the time. If you were in that situation, what would you have thought and felt? What would you have written? Would your faith sustain you in that situation? Let me share another example of deep faith. Anne Frank, the young Jewish girl who hid in an upper annex for 2 years before being caught, she died of typhus in a concentration camp at the age of 15 in February of 1945. Before she died, she wrote this: "Despite everything, people are really good at heart. I see the world gradually turning into a wilderness. I can feel the suffering of millions, and yet if I look up into the heavens, I think it will come right, that its cruelty too will end, and that peace and tranquility will return again." Her writing exudes hope despite unimaginable life and death. With no rational reason for hope, she remained positive and believed deeply that peace would return. Again ask, what would you have thought and felt if you were Anne Frank in that annex for 2 years? What would you have written? Would your faith have sustained you? I invite you now to join me as I share my journey of faith from Catholicism to Buddhism to UU. My faith journey began in infancy. Born into a deeply Catholic family, I attended Mass every Sunday, went to Catholic grade school. In 6th grade, became an altar boy and joined the Future Priest Club. I memorized the Baltimore Catechism, the concise summary of Catholic doctrine. I grew up with all the rote answers to life's persistent questions. The purpose of life was simple: love God with all your strength and your neighbor as yourself. At that time, I was in James Fowler's second stage of faith development, the mythic literal stage, or Sharon Salzberg might call it bright faith, when faith is new and unquestioned. I believed what I was taught. I had not yet developed my own faith, but merely parroted the faith of my parents and teachers. The Catholic Church had all the right answers. All I had to do was memorize them and practice them. But in 7th grade, I got a taste of something a little deeper. I remember coming to school on a crisp fall day in 1961. My progressive teacher, Sister Naomi, who I think sincerely would have loved being at UU, had written the name Dag Hammarskjöld on the board. Now, I'd never heard of Dag Hammarskjöld before. She told us he was Secretary General of the UN, a Nobel Peace Laureate, and had died in a plane crash. She shared a quote from one of his books, from his book, Markings. "I don't know who or what put the question. I do not know when it was put. I don't even remember answering. But at some moment, I did answer to someone or something. And from that hour, I was certain that existence is meaningful, and that therefore my life in self-surrender had a goal." Even though I had all the correct answers, his words struck me at a deeper existential level. I sensed that I had said or wanted to say yes to something, even though I could not define it. His words inspired me to look beyond the stock answers. Faith is not static. It's not dynamic. It's a journey of discovery. Who or what was I saying yes to? Who or what have you said yes to? Family upbringing shapes our faith, sometimes through acceptance, sometimes through rejection. I grew up in a strict Catholic family, went to minor seminary at 13, became a Franciscan brother studying to become a priest. I was likely in Fowler's 3rd stage, where I believed the faith of my upbringing, but starting to have some doubts. But during theology studies, I began to move into Fowler's 4th stage, seriously questioning my faith. I left the seminary after my 2nd year at Catholic Theological Union in Chicago, the same seminary that Pope Leo attended and graduated from several years after I did. I found theology fascinating, concepts of God, and it was fascinating, but I lost my faith. There were so many ways to understand God and Jesus that I wasn't sure what I believed. Growing up, I had all the definitive answers, but at CTU I found a lot of ambiguity and uncertainty. We were systematically demythologizing the Bible and the teachings of the church. Since you don't know what you believe, it's hard to preach something that you really don't understand or believe. Now, I gained much from my Catholic upbringing and still admire its strong social teaching and commitment to the poor. But my Catholic upbringing was clearly a part of my spiritual development, but no longer served the needs I had. During my time in seminary, I completed 4 months of clinical pastoral education at Fergus Falls State Hospital in their adult addiction program. While I was unclear what I believed theologically, I did come to the realization that I felt I could help change people's lives by being an effective counselor. That I could believe in. So after I left the seminary, I got certified and became an addiction counselor for 43 years. But even after leaving the seminary, I still remained intrigued by the quest for God. I attended Mass regularly at St. Joan of Arc, a progressive Catholic church in South Minneapolis. But over time, I, like Anne, could no longer say the creed. I couldn't say the Nicene Creed. I just couldn't believe it. Sometimes I'd go at Mass and I would just fake it. Sometimes I wouldn't say anything at all. But I think it came down to, I didn't know what difference saying all that and believing all that made in my everyday life. I didn't know what difference it made. I was clearly in the middle-age stage of James Fowler's stage where I was seriously questioning my faith and looking outside the box for something different. A dear friend of mine shares her own stage 4 experience of questioning her Catholic faith. In her mid-20s, she wondered what would happen if she missed Mass on Sunday, a clear mortal sin. So she didn't go to Mass, and all week she was waiting for a lightning bolt or something bad to happen, and nothing did. I think a lot of people during the course of their spiritual development question their faith of origin. And for some people, when that happens, they find a new religion. Other people rediscover their faith of origin and find new meaning in it. And other people simply drop out of religion completely. But I was persistent. I wanted to get this down. Given my continued faith struggle, I sought a spiritual director at Loyola and continued to see her regularly for over a year. My goal was to develop this deep relationship with God, which I thought a lot of people had. And I thought, if I just tried harder, I would get it. I continued to attend weekly Mass, journaled and practiced centering prayer daily, went on a retreat, but I still didn't have that personal relationship that other people would talk about. I began to wonder if I was more enamored with the idea of a relationship with God than my real relationship with God. I wondered if I had projected this relationship with God into something, and I wasn't sure it was real. I continued to feel a general sense of transcendence in nature and a sense of connectionness with all people, but not the personal God others described. Now, I attended prayer revivals, charismatic meetings, gave my life over to God, but it never felt authentic or lasted. Eventually, I realized I need to stop looking vertically and start looking horizontally. I needed a faith or some philosophy that would help me live my daily life better on a daily basis. And that's when I found Buddhism. Buddhism grounded me. Buddhist meditation helped ground me. It helped me live compassionately without anger, greed, and delusion. I became enamored with the 4 Buddhist immeasurables. They are virtues or states of mind which help us break out of our self-centeredness and be concerned and genuinely concerned about other people. They are loving kindness, compassion, empathetic joy, and equanimity. Loving kindness, the wish that all beings have happiness and its causes. Compassion, the wish that all beings be free from suffering and its causes. Where that helped me was when I encountered people, particularly as a counselor, I realized everybody you contact, and that's true here as well, everybody you interact with is in pain. be it physical, emotional, or spiritual. And when I realize that people around me are in pain, I can be more compassionate in responding to them. Empathetic joy. That's feeling genuine delight in the happiness and well-being and success of others. This too can be difficult. I had a friend who was very successful, and I was jealous of her. Everything she did worked out right, you know? Kids were great, did well, had a great job, making a lot of money, that kind of thing. And I always felt jealous of her. I was on a retreat at the Zen Center, and we were dealing with empathetic joy. And one of my tasks was to begin to feel empathetic joy for her. And so we role-played it. And I can tell you exactly where I was sitting in the Zen Center when I had this kind of change of heart, and I could start feeling real joy for her successes. That was a real breakthrough for me. Last one is equanimity. A stable, balanced mind free from bias and fear of attachment. In other words, we try to see everyone in the same light. For instance, that might be treating someone who is a Trump supporter with the same respect and integrity as a Bernie Sanders supporter. That can be difficult. These practices were helpful, though not always easy. Buddhism grounded me. It freed me from the pressure of believing in a God I wasn't sure existed. I could live compassionately, naturally, not because it was a companion or not because it was going to get me higher in heaven. It was just the right thing to do. That led me to a whole life of service. That became my focus, service to others. Two quotes that have become my hallmark or that have been a real directive in my life. One is from Muhammad Ali. Service is the rent we pay for our room on earth. Love that. Or another is the tagline from my email. John Wesley, who was the founder of Methodism in 1730, wrote, "Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you can." That's a big task, but it's a good script to follow. I then became an active member of Common Ground Meditation Center in Minneapolis for about 15 years. About 3 years ago, members of the Common Ground Meditation Center were invited to join the Active Hope group here at Unity. During the group here, I was impressed and convicted by the values of the UU members in our discussion groups. They all seemed to be so grounded and rooted and be willing to go deep. I thought, I need to check this place out. Prior to that, I had never heard of Unitarianism. It was total new territory. I didn't know anything about it. I went to a couple services. Kathleen Rollens was the interim minister then, and she was powerful and really hooked me. And I quickly felt at home here. The philosophy of unity fit in well with my Unity's focus on integrity, service, and joy fit with my idea of service. I quickly got involved. I became involved in kitchen ministry, Chalice groups, Lectio Divina, men's group, teaching associate, and worship associate. UU became part of my identity. UU goes deeply, quickly. It names and faces existential challenges without predetermined answers. It responds with courage, commitment, and creativity. Here are just a few of my memorable experiences at UU so far. Early on in my journey at UU, I became involved in kitchen ministry. It's a great way to get to know other people in the congregation. For instance, while help to prepare a meal for Welcome Wednesday, I had a very engaging discussion about Bart Ehrman's theology with John Sherman while massaging kale. That's what I remember. You never know when it's going to happen, right? Over time, I learned that sometimes the kitchen offers a perfect setting for deep discussions. I remember a challenging teaching associate meeting with KP when he asked us to share an example of our own racism. That's hard to do. That's hard to face. One of the members in our group shared a very tearful memory of her behavior when she was in the Peace Corps. After she tearfully shared what she had to share, there was silence, and then I thanked her for sharing, which was the natural thing to do, I thought. A little later in the group, KP asked me, he said, "Why did you feel a need to rescue her?" And that threw me. What do you mean rescue her? I just responded naturally like I normally would have. But later in my small group, we had a further discussion about that my response. One of the people in the group said that early in her life she had been abused. And the first time she shared that abuse with her group, she didn't want anybody to respond. She only wanted people to hold her in sacred presence. And that was an insight for me. I'd never appreciated that before. Later on, I happened to see JKP on a Sunday in the kitchen, and I mentioned to him that issue. I said, so I was a little surprised when you had, kind of confronted me on that. And he said, yeah, well, both responses are right. There's a time when you want to affirm somebody when they share, but there's other times when you just need to be there and be with people. And I said, how do you know? And he said, that comes with time and wisdom. That was a real insight for me, a growth spurt. I will never forget Reverend Oscar saying that he had already written the sermon after the last presidential election, the week before the election. I wondered, how could you do that? On the Sunday after the election, he said that despite the election results, our mission at Unity was not to change. UU was still to be committed to the hard work of anti-racism, multiculturalism, and climate and economic justice. Our goal hadn't changed, regardless of the political structure. It might be more difficult. I found that sermon very grounding, and it gave me realistic hope. I vividly remember bringing my dear friend Rita here to a service at UU the Wednesday after the election. I felt like I'd just been through a severe auto accident. I felt like I was in the ER on life support after the election results. But we got together. Each of the ministers said things, and I don't remember what they did, but I felt I found solace what they had to say. We sang songs, but the thing I remember the most, we were together supporting one another in that painful loss. It was a real balm to my wounded soul at that time. I remember UU's courageous response to Metro Surge, the marches, protecting children to and from school, Reverend KP and Oscar courageously being arrested at the MSP airport in protest of the unlawful deportation of detainees. I remember the Monarch training held here at UU, which held the community beyond UU, taught them how to deal with ICE. I remember it as a scary time. The only thing that was certain was kind of the daily raw cruelty that we saw perpetrated by ICE. UU was there to help us face the threats and learn how to respond effectively as a community. It empowered me at a time when I was feeling powerless. I remember Reverend Shay's powerful sermon on the death of nationalism, which gave us all permission to grieve. That sermon was such a balm to my soul. Like so many people I know, I found it difficult to celebrate our 250th anniversary. I loved our democracy, but it felt like it was being destroyed on a daily basis. That sermon so effectively verbalized what I was feeling. It helped me sense what I was experiencing and gave me permission to grieve and to know that I'm not alone. A few weeks ago, I had a meeting with Reverend Oscar briefly to go over what I planned to do for the service. I remember coming in the Portland entrance, and I walked in, took a breath, and immediately I thought and felt, I'm at home. This feels like at home to me. Unity continues to face the exo challenges of today head on. It's willing to engage these issues, not with predetermined answers, but with courage, and to face them creatively and to respond with them in community. I have faith in UU, its leadership and congregation. I'm not sure of my personal future. I'm not sure of the future of our country. But I have faith that we as a community can face these challenges. I have faith that I'm not alone. You are with me. In 7th grade, I wanted to say yes to something. As an adult, I now say yes to UU. UU has offered me the delicate balance of both supporting me spiritually, but also challenged me to grow, break out, and be transformed in unexpected ways. I've given you a bird's eye view of my journey from Catholicism to Buddhism and UU. I'd like to end by paraphrasing Anne's well-written reflection. I thought it was done so well. I do say yes to this covenant with this congregation and other UU congregations to affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person. I covenant the values of interdependence, pluralism, justice, transformation, generosity, and equity, all centered around love. Other faith traditions are focused on love too. We do not have a corner on the market. I think the difference here is whatever your faith tradition, wherever you come from, wherever you are in your faith, you're welcome here. We welcome you now to go forward with us on our faith journey together. So be it. And now if you'll stand with me as you're willing and able and sing our final song, My Life Flows On, an endless song. Number We've been nurtured by our worship together. Now let us carry the message of the service into our daily lives. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitments. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. May your yes continue to grow and remain vibrant. So be it.